Hello and welcome. A lot of cords in the way here on the floor. Hello and welcome again to my little YouTube channel, and this time I thought that we would tie one of my old favorites, which I call Copperkorva. It's tied like Michael Fredin's Pahtakorva, but with copper, with a lot of copper in it, copper flash and a little copper mixed into the dubbing, and of course the hot orange in flames, which I think it looks like a fiery copper, and some gold ribbing and Pahtakorva fiery brown wings. So it was I haven't tied this one in a long while, so let's see how it turns out. It's one of my favorite flies to fish in tinted waters and whiskey colored waters. So let's start and see how it goes. Here I have started with a medium fits tubing in I think it is called bronze, and this one also, but I'm not sure. I will write it down in the prescription underneath. And I'm going to use a black Fredin Flies 12-0 thread for this one. So I start to tie the two dimensions together, and as always, as tight as I can before the thread breaks. And I leave about 6-7 millimeters of the bare tubing. And on this one we're going to have gold ribbing. I think he has gold ribbing on his original Pahtakorva, so we will do that on this fly. And then back part of the body will be the hot orange in flames, and I tie those in on my side, and then I start to wind the body forward. Make sure that I cover the thread that I've tied them in with, and then overlap a bit and turn forward, or wind it on forward. This is a little bit of the shortest I could use, but it worked. And then I tie it in and I fold it back and I tie a few more turns. Just cut that off, and then I will use my dubbing. I have taken a regular Pahtakorva bronze dubbing, and then I have cut up some flash in copper to put in to the dubbing. So this one gets even more copper in it. Make sure to start over the thread where you tied in the SSS braid. And leave about 6 centimeters, because I'm gonna have 2 hackles on this fly, and I should be able to cover that up with a hackle later on. I hope it looks better when I have put on the body hackle and brushed this out. Like that. Oh, it looks okay. And here I have a body hackle feather, which I don't remember what they are called, but it's a cock's hackle. Tie it in pretty tight because it's a thick stem. And a pair of scissors would be good. Cut off. And then I use my Freudian Flies hackle plier and pinch it. And I do like Freudian, one turn in the front before I start to go back. And like that. Just leave the hackle plier hanging there, which is one of the good things about this plier. It's that it's heavy, so I can leave it there and spin the ribbing with 2 fingers. I don't have the technique that Michael has, using only one hand to spin this. And then I start to wind on the ribbon counterwise to the body hackle and try to pinch down as few as possible of the strands on the body hackle. And I pull it down hard into the dubbing. My fly has come loose, but I think that I will be able to work this out. Like that. And then a few wraps. And fold it back, and a few more wraps. Like that. And we successfully attached the body hackle. Which sometimes for me is not an easy thing to do. Okay, so here we go. It's time to brush out the fibers. Let's see if it holds. It should do that. Like that. As always, I forget to fasten my vise as good as possible. Where you have some, if you have some loops with a thicker flash that are tied in, just pull your scissors through them, cut them up like that. Now we have taken care of the body, and now it's time to tie in the first wing. Pahtakorva bronze. I'm going to make that pretty thick, and the second wing will be a little less thick. And I take my little comb, take away some of the little fluffy part in the bottom, and then we taper it. This looks pretty tapered already, but you can always taper it a little more, so you're sure that it will create a nice swimming fly. And just hold it on top, and as always, loose turn, pull down, 3, 4, 5, and this I have to pull up so it like that. That is not good because this is loose. This sometimes happens for me, so I will explain to you what happened. I only have this small area here to tie on the hair. I don't want to tie it on in front of this or in the back of this. I wanted to get tied. So I will start all over and hope that this time will be better. And as before, take away the fluffy part and the shorter strands and taper it again like that. I hope it gets better this time. Loose turn. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I pull it down a little bit on the sides to make it to make the wing wide. And I think that I did it right this time. If you can see, I will show you. Now the wing is tied on top of the medium tubing, which ends here. So that's exactly the place that I wanted the first wing, but wasn't able to do that, which sometimes happens. Shit happens. And here I have taken out Pahtakorva bronze in angel hair with a few strands, which we want to tie on wide so it's spread over the wing. One turn, fold it over, like that. It looks pretty good. And then I will cut them off. We will have a longer wing on top of this. So as always, I save a few strands that will be seen underneath the... Now I see that I didn't get so much strands on this side as I wanted. So if that happens, I just take a few more strands. This is 4 or 5. I put them on the other side. One turn, and I put them on the side that didn't get so many strands. That looks a lot better. The fish don't mind, but I want it to look good, and now the angel hair is spread on top of the wing. Now we will put on wing number 2, which will be longer than the first wing to get a good taper. And do the same with this one. Take away the fluff and we take away the shorter strands. And then we taper this. This one has black tips. And I like those ones. Like that. And now we measure it so it's a little bit longer than the first one. Like that. And we make one loose turn, pull down, and then we attach it. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 hard turns. And I pull this down on the sides. And I'm pretty satisfied with the width on this one. And we cut away the waist. Like that. And as you can see, I managed to tie this one on top of the other wing. We tied in. We want to tie everything on top of each other here, which makes for a more durable fly, and it's easier to cover up this part with dubbing that we will use to create a beautiful drop form. And now I will use a little nasty rusty angel hair on the top. And this one, it's copper and gold and green. A lot of beautiful colors, and we tried to spread this also. It looks pretty good. And these ones I cut off shorter than the longest strands of fox hair or the soft hair. Like this. In front of this, or in, and I give it a little comb through. This looks good. And now I will try to tie in some peacock on this fly. I use 5 strands because this is a pretty big fly, like this, which I think landed pretty good for being me. And now we cut off the tips on them. And now we will put on some jungle cock. And this time I will take the orange colored ones again, because I really enjoy how they look. Here we have 2 good ones, and then I put them next to each other so they're the same length, and then I take away the fluffy lower part of them and check for how long they are. These are a little too long, so we take away a little bit more. Like this. And we curve them over our fingernail so they get a little bend. Then put the first one in on my side. Some loose wraps. Looking good, that one. Here we had a strand of flash that I did not like the position of. And same with this one. like that. And now we try to put this one the same length. Like that. And ties a few loose turns. If you tie this one with tight turns in the beginning, they tend to jump around and end up in various places that you don't want them. But I'm okay with this, with how this one sits. These ones sit, and now we only have the hackle and the cone head left. So I will use quite a bit of glue here to make sure that all that I have tied in here gets attached thoroughly and makes the fly durable. And the Copperkorva, as you can see, there's a lot of copper underneath here and in the wing. And now I will start with a speckled hen in some sort of burnt orange, and use quite much of this feather because this is a big fly. And I cut a little triangle here, tie this in on my side, like so. And look, so I didn't mess up the jungle cogs. They look pretty good. And back to the hackle plier. And now we will try to put on the hackle. And the first turn, as always, as close to the wing as possible to get the fly nice and tight. And the second one a bit forward. Now we have two nice turns on the medium tubing, and then we go down and make two small turns on the plastic tubing, extra small. I only had enough to one turn. If that happens, I just take away the excess and then we tie it in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we check so we have an even spread with a speckled hen hackle. That's when I use my little comb, and I think it looks quite good. Like that, and then we finish it off with the black soft hackle. Now we don't need as many turns as with a speckled hen hackle. Create a little triangle again. And tie it in on my side. And these turns we try to make them as tight as possible, because we want a tightly tied fly for a good drop form and for durability. And that went perfect. not as perfect as I wanted it to. Doesn't matter. Just start over. And I have lots of black hackles on my soft necks, so it's not my last feather. Tie it in again and try to make a better job with it, doing it. Like that. And then again the hackle plier. And let's make this work. But what the? Sorry. Don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I will try one more time. And if this is not working, I will change feather directly. That feather didn't like me. Let's try it with this one. Tie it in on my side. And hope that this won't come loose as easily as the other black soft hackle. Hackle plier again. Wish me luck. Don't come loose. First turn as close as possible to the first hackle we tied in, and after the first turn is done we are usually pretty safe with the rest of the hackle. That's what we got. Pull away some of the extra fluff and lock this one in. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I pull a bit so it gets even tighter. And now I think that we have tied Copperkorva, and I'm pretty satisfied with the last hackle. It could have been better, and it definitely could have been worse. Try to lift up the jungle cocks a bit. Yeah, it looks rather good. And we will finish it with a turbo cone head in tungsten from Fredine Flies, of course, which will help with the balance and make it more durable because we hide the little thread head, which we glue first. So I will put some glue on the thread here. Like this. And the reason that I'm holding out the thread like this is because if I hold the thread like this, the glue can start to run down the tying thread, and that is something that we don't want. We don't want tying thread in our bobbin. And again, Nicholas Bauer's pike tubes. Grab a hold of the fly, press it in pretty hard, like that, and then we cut off the thread, take the fly out of the vise, check it out. I think it looks really good. I'm very happy with this one. And then we just cut off the plastic tubing, fits tubing, and leave a few millimeters, and then melt that down. A little by little, as always, and then my fits dubbing needle in the middle to create a good hole. And I don't know what you think, but I'm pretty happy with this one. I think it looks pretty good, fat and wide. Copperkorva with a hot orange jungle cock. Nice and fat wing, nice and fat and fluffy front with a hackle and the body hackle, and a lot of copper here and copper flash mixed into the Pahtakorva bronze dubbing, and pretty good tapering here. So I think that this fly will swim beautifully and would be a great fly for me to use early next season. Thank you for watching, and I hope you liked it, and I will see you soon again. Pahtakorva bronze today. No, Pahtakorva copper. Copperkorva. Copperkorva, of course. Thank you for watching. I will see you soon.